Hi guys, my name is Victor. I am from the JWebSocket core developer team, and I am here today to show you how to configure the JDBC authentication provider instead of having the out-of-the-box static provider installation. So as you know that when you download JWebSocket server, it comes with a home folder and then a configuration folder. So what I want you to do is take a look into that configuration folder of your server, and then you will find a system plugin, and you will find also a JWebSocket XML file. So the JWebSocket XML file is the main file of the server, and among other things it has a roles tag. These roles includes all the roles, static roles defined in the system, like administrator, user, and of course a couple of rights uh, that they are allowed to do in a certain plugins, right? From the RPC plugin, then they can do RPCs or so. For instance, the file system can load, save a couple of, more of stuff, but these things, for instance, cannot be made by the anonymous user. So basically that's all about the roles. Then we have a couple of default users like guest or root, which already have a simple password, non-encoded, also root. And this is used by default to be able to show to the final user how our demos work. All the most of the demos are configured with the root uh, passwords and username by default, so they can run it and see how it works. And these roots are already with administrator roles. So now, what is important to have in mind, to keep in mind here? These users are already, let's say, hard coded, right? And the idea is we want to have these users in the database, and maybe you want to have a certain system to manage them separately. So so what we have to do to switch on the JDBC authentication provider is you need to go to the system plugin. A static auth provider is the one that will be by default in the authentication manager. So you need to comment this one out and then enable JDBC authentication provider. Once you have that, you only need to run the server. Of course, that is not all. And JDBC authentication provider, you will see that in the definition it needs a JDBC user details service permissions, and this needs a connection with the database. So you need to make sure that the data source is configured with the root or your local host connection. And the other thing is you need to have a JWebSocket database into your or schema, sorry, JWebSocket schema into your MySQL databases. So how you do that? First, make sure that you downloaded the latest versions of JWebSocket because we provide a database script here in this download. Then you need to download the source file. I already did that for you, so you will see in my desktop. I'm gonna extract it here, and then I'm gonna show you what you need to do. Make sure you have at the hand a workbench of MySQL or any other client to connect to your local host, and then you have no other database here called JWebSocket. Then in the extracted package of JWebSocket full sources, it will be called JWebSocket dev. Inside it you will have a branches folder. You go to the JWebSocket 1.0 and then you go to the databases folder. So here we have all the JWebSocket basically more important queries, and it's kind of easy to have, like to the final user to be able to execute this query just by copying it and pasting it in the workbench. So now you see there is no schema defined yet. Now we're gonna paste it here, or the query we just copied from JWebSocket 1.0 SQL. Then we're gonna run it, and there we are, a result, all success. And then once it is done, we refresh, and we have a new schema here. So this schema being ready, then we are able to run any demo. The server, we need to make sure it is running. So when the server has a JWebSocket server start to complete, means that it is completely running. And then we need to reload, and as I was before authenticated, it automatically authenticates me. But let's say I wanna log in with root. I just hit login, and this is a default user which is already in the database. And and let's say I wanna try something else. I wanna create my own user to log in here. So then we go to the database, and then we have a users table. You see here. So by default there are a couple of users provided in the script. Of course you can have your own users. Please note that these users are already related with the roles by the table user roles, and each roles has the rights. So you need to have a system to automate this for you. By default, I'm gonna create, let's say, another new user here, like let's put here 6, and then we will put demo, and then we're gonna have here as well demo. Oh, sorry about that. And the password we can have 123. It's just an example. And then we are gonna set it as enabled, and then we're gonna apply the changes. Please note that this password is not encoded. Of course you need to have some kind of encoding mechanism for this. You need to implement this by yourself. So once you have this demo added here, you can just open here the connection and try it again here, demo, and log in with your password. And this will connect you, but it doesn't mean that it will allow you to execute certain actions. In this case, an error was returned by the server, access denied, while trying to get channels, because this has a specific rights for this plugin. So you cannot get this if you are not in a certain role. So you need to assign some roles, user roles, right? You need to get to the roles table, and you need to copy which one is for admin ID, and then relate it with the user roles with the new user we added. Like you need to have some kind of tool or something to do that for you. In our case, we have a user admin tool, which is provided on the non-free package of JWebSocket. So you may need to talk to us about it and contact us about it, and we will deal with that. Yeah. Sorry about my bad English. It's just I'm not native English spoken. So actually this is all I wanted to show you. Now we have already configured our JDBC authentication provider using JWebSocket. So this is all I wanted to show you. Thank you very much for watching.